Welcome back. Lori Vallow-Daybell's newest indictment. We'll talk about that. And if you haven't met me yet and you're new here, I'm Shelly. I have a channel that vlogs and documents my first year of flower farming. I'm a retired speech therapist, and I've also suffered a situation that caused me to lose a lot of my speech. So I've worked hard, and I continue to work hard, and this is part of my therapy that I've put together for myself to work on my speech and share with you wonderful people. So, if you don't know, Lori Vallow-Daybell has been indicted yet again in Arizona. Her first indictment was unsealed after the guilty pleas the guilty verdicts in Idaho. So that was unsealed, and that indictment is around her husband Charles Vallow's death, as she's indicted as a conspirator in that death. So the new charge is something I think we've kind of expected. I was hoping it would come, but sometimes you just don't know. Prosecutors want to make sure that their case is solid and they feel confident they can win it. So her newest indictment is for the attempted murder of Brandon, there goes my speech, thanks for your forgiveness, Brandon Boudreaux. I want to say October 1st, 2019. It was during this crazy mess of people being killed, with Alex being the hitman, and it was during that mix. And so, just to review what happened, the relation of Brandon Boudreaux to Lori and Charles Vallow is through Lori's niece, which she's been known to be called now Melanie, because we have another Melanie. So she was Melanie Boudreaux that, as Lori began getting excited about these new views, Melanie attached on to Lori and came under her wing as a mother figure. She lost her mother when she was very young, and she didn't have real opportunity to get to know her. So, Melanie, which is Brandon Boudreaux's wife, I'm going to say was sucked right in. Or she fell right in, or she chased after it hard. There's so many different ways to look at it, and I want to know your thoughts. It's so exciting to get to read your comments below and think through ideas that you have. So Melanie became into this castings, meeting with the ladies. Sometimes they were calling on firesides. And Brandon, her husband, is like an insurance investor kind of career that's sort of aligned with Charles Vallow, and they had so much in common. And once Melanie started getting very caught up into this, Brandon wasn't concerned at first. He thought it was a good thing for her to be involved in the church more. They have 4 children, and once she got to the point of sitting in with Brandon and saying, listen, we have got to borrow money to get all of these supplies to get ready for the end times. And she was wanting 2 years worth of supplies, and most people would consider kind of outrageous stuff, but she was all in. And from my perspective, and a lot of people's perspectives, thank you, it's wiser just to go slow and not go in debt when you're going to, as you kind of prepare for a time without electricity. We had an ice storm here in Texas, and we went without for quite a long time. So those things happen. I mean, you have obviously hurricanes that are horrendous, and people go without electricity and water, natural gas. So it's good to know how to, in a way, kind of camp and take care of your needs, have food stored away that maybe doesn't need to be cooked. Okay, so I'm trailing down that path. Let me bring us back with Melanie's approach Brandon for that. And Brandon was just not on board. He let her know, I am not going to borrow money for this. I'm just not. Well, shortly after this, with lots of complaining to the group, they decided that Brandon was no longer Brandon. It hasn't been revealed the name of this evil spirit that began to inhabit his body, and that part I think is going to come in the next trial. But so after Charles was killed, let's see, that was July the 11th, because it was 7/11. That was a very important number to Lori. So after that, let's see, Kobe and then Tylee was able to, I don't know if they put it in her name, but drive Charles's Jeep. And the interesting part with that, they went through the insurance of Brandon Boudreaux, and they continued the insurance. So Brandon had taken the children to daycare. I'm not sure when, might have been old enough for school. And then he stopped by at the gym. He moved into a new home, needing to change the address because of these kinds of wild beliefs that he was hearing about. And the court ordered him to reveal that address to Melanie. She's in battle with Brandon over custody. Brandon has the temporary custody at that time. So he did reveal it to Melanie, and speculation, or what is the word, allegedly, they got together in their group and began the same process of what they did with other people that were in their way or deemed dark. Melanie was well aware of a life insurance policy that was large. I'll just say that. It was large. I have a tip on that too. We can talk about it another time. But so they got together, and we'll just skip ahead to the attempted shooting. After going to the gym, Alex is sitting in, allegedly, the Jeep that Charles Vallow owned, and the tire had been removed from the back part of it so he could lower the window. And as Brandon said, he kind of slowed down, saw the vehicle, and as it was turning in, shot was fired. And it was in the upper part of the window from his Tesla, but very close to his head. So this is what the new indictment is about. is Lori's being indicted for the second time in Arizona for her part in a conspiracy for the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. So, thank you for joining me. I look forward to reading your comments, and I know we're kind of like Team Justice here, and I appreciate that. So, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.